go ahead and get started. Can everyone hear me? Okay, good. Thanks, Jim. Using a new headset. So let me introduce myself. I'll turn my video on. My name is Deineh. I am the instruction librarian here at MiraCosta College. Don't look at my messy office behind me. I'm going to turn the video off momentarily because I don't like just be seen. It's my 5th year at the college, and essentially I'm in charge of the teaching in the library department. So we have our 2 credit courses, we have research workshops, we have research assignment specific orientations, a lot of handouts and a lot of learning tools and objects. So that's what I do. Just to get a sense of who's in this session today, will you folks tell us in which discipline do you work or teach? Online ed, thank you. Biotech, great. Massage, awesome. Medical billing and coding, good for some people. Computer science, geology, psych, child development, computer apps. Any history folks? I don't see any. Okay, so I have a good sense of who's here, so welcome to you all. I'm going to turn off the video now. So let me just explain to you really briefly what my plan for the next probably 40 minutes is. I'm going to kind of give you an update or a reminder of what the library is and what we look like based on the items that we offer you and your students. Then we're going to look at the new website layout. I'm going to point out a few specific online resources that you may want to know about going forward this year. And then you'll have some time to explore our resources to hopefully find some relevant items for your courses this semester. So the first thing I want to show you is, I'm calling it, what am I calling it? I'm calling it current-ish levels for collection, and it should pop up on your screen. I say current-ish because as a library we are a living, breathing organism, and our resources change, they ebb, they flow. Essentially we have a little more than 300,000 things for you and your students. Print books were just under 71,000. That number is going down as we update the collection and get rid of, I don't know, technical manuals that are 50 years old and how to use a computer kind of things. Items on reserve, about 3,000. I'll give a plug right now. If you folks want your students to have access to your textbook, please bring a copy to the library to be on reserve. As you know, many of our students cannot afford textbooks. I know I couldn't when I was in college, and many students benefit from that 1 or 2 desk copies being placed on reserve. So contact your publisher, get a free copy, bring it to us. Videos, we have DVDs, and we have this outdated technology VHS. We have 7,500 physical media items. Streaming videos, 17,000. We'll look at some of the streaming video databases. A lot of folks are appreciating using those in their online courses. They work very well in both Moodle and Blackboard, so a lot there. We do still also have the outmoded technology called CDs, which I think half of our students don't know what compact discs are. We still have some of those guys. Playaways and audiobooks, 291. The Playaways, if there's any CLC folks in here, the Playaways are hosted mostly at the CLC, and what it is it's a small MP3 player, and it's a physical printed book, and so a lot of students are able to use those by following along with the spoken audiobook. A lot of our non-native English speakers, I think, benefit from being able to read along as it's being read to them. Ebooks, 170,000. It's a great number. It's a huge number. It's why the print book number is going down. 170,000 ebooks. The biggest one is the collection of ebooks that we get from EBSCOhost, which I'll talk about EBSCOhost a little bit later. About 121,000 books. Great collection, easy to use. We subscribe to 92 databases, so they're covering lots of different topics. They give us access, they give you access to different types of information. Unique print periodical titles, so periodicals obviously being newspapers, magazines, and academic journals, we subscribe to 109. Just as the print books are going down, this number will also go down. things are now being made available a lot more easily through our subscription databases. And finally, in those subscription databases, there are more than 35,000 unique titles. So titles including things like the Journal of the American Anthropological Association, the Journal of X, Y, or Z, Time Magazine, Newsweek, US News and World Report, New York Times, those kinds of things. So this is what the MiraCosta College Library looks like by the numbers. It's a very robust collection, and I think we are very strong in our e-content. I think as our distance ed program is going into full speed, high speed gear, I think we have sufficient resources to support your curriculum, and we're always updating it and making it stronger. So that's that. Any questions before I move on to showing you our new website? Any questions or comments on these numbers that I've shown you here? Okay, sounds good. I do want to encourage lots of questions. This should be a pretty informal, casual conversation. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that. And now I'm going to take you to our new webpage, any online access to audiobooks. Good question, Jim. The current audiobook collection is very small. It's like 20 or 30 books. And they're all on CDs. They're all physically on CDs. There are some of the ebook databases have a read function, so it will read text to you. It's obviously not an audiobook. It's in an awkward computer voice. And I know a lot of the accessibility software does the same thing. But I guess to answer your question, there's no current access to online audiobooks. Audiobooks themselves in the CD format are sort of going by the wayside, just like all CDs. A lot of the public libraries give their patrons, obviously it's a lot more fiction, they give their patrons access to audiobooks that are downloadable. Given the nature of what we do here, supporting the curriculum and research, those kinds of things, we don't have as much of a leisure collection here. It's not our focus. So I don't know that we would necessarily be exploring those kinds of services. We try not to duplicate the efforts of the public library. Does that answer your question? Okay, cool. So as we move on from this, I'm going to show you our new website. And let me warn you that there's a lot of dust. There's a lot of dust on our new website. I think we had hoped to be a little further along before we are at this, this point in Flex Week, especially with classes starting on Monday. The company that we use to make our website told us that the switch over from the old version to the new version would be a little bit more easy and more would require a lot less cleanup than how it actually has turned out. So let me just warn you that you're going to see a diamond in the rough, very rough, but it will get there, and we are excited about it. And it's going to be great because I think hopefully it will be a lot friendlier and usable by students. So let me show you. I'm sure you all may have jumped at it already, but just in case not, here it will come. So this is obviously this is the college homepage. As of January, we have this new website. The reason why I am personally a big fan of it is that the library link is the second one at the top here. We got that because we are one of the most searched or clicked links on the college page, besides Blackboard. So you're welcome to access the library here. Our friendly URL will always be the same. It's library.miracosta.edu. So let's get there. So this is where you see some of the awkwardness, but don't mind that. Essentially, we were asked or given the opportunity to make our website fit into the college's web template. So this is what we've done here, and we have a similar navigation structure to the college homepage, which you'll see here in this blue nav bar. Find Search has things under it such as the EBSCOhost databases, databases by subject, databases A to Z, textbooks and course reserves, online video and music. Under Get Help, you can ask us. We have a knowledge bank that students can search questions, research guides and class guides. The biggie is citation guides. So we provide support for APA, MLA. Those are the lovely green and yellow handouts you can get in the library. And we've just made and this is why I asked about history instructors, we just made a third handout style guide for Chicago style. So Chicago and Turabian, Chicago history folks love that style. And then we have a little bit more help for those students. Library workshops, I will give a plug to that, and I'll click on that for you. Our fall workshop schedule is up. We have 4 different workshops. Welcome to your library, Ready, Set, Research, AHA articles, and Cite Right. So we depend in a very large part on you folks to advertise and promote our services to your students. Some students just need that little push from the instructor, kind of legitimizing what we do and why we do it. So if you can help us by getting word out about our workshops, please do that. And we obviously have the 2 credit courses, Library 101 and Library 201. The information literacy tutorial is a self-guided kind of research crash course that a lot of students have been using. Richard Ma, who is the distance and outreach librarian, put a lot of work in that and has been testing that with his students. So you're welcome to explore that with your class, maybe extra credit. And then we also link to a lot of the other services here in the hub because students think of the library as this entire building. And so we want to kind of show that we are in cahoots with these folks. We love our neighbors. Services, this is a good place for you. You can request interlibrary loan. And specifically, there's a link for services for faculty, things that we do for you. You'll want to know about that. The About section, basic stuff, hours, locations, how to contact us, who we are, policies and procedures. We like to point to that if we get some pushback on anything from students, these kinds of things. Also, we have our instruction room calendar. We do offer the use of our instruction room when it's not being used for library teaching. So you're welcome to check out the calendar there and see if it's available. And finally, we have our 24-hour live chat. So eventually, when you click on this icon, something will physically pop out, a different window will pop out. This is just a temporary workaround. I hope you all know about this, but we do have a 24-hour live chat with librarians for students. FYI, during the library hours, so during fall and spring semesters, our hours are 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., Monday through Thursday. Friday, we're here from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., and Saturday, we're here from 10 to 5. That's both campuses, San Elijo and Oceanside campus. So during those hours, there is a MiraCosta librarian staffing this service. There are a number of us staffing this service. And outside those hours, so if your students are cramming to turn a paper in at 8 a.m. and they're working on it at 6 a.m. or at midnight or on a Friday evening, they will get a librarian somewhere else in the country. So the MiraCosta Library is part of a consortium that staffs this. We want to make sure that we are getting our students to the stuff that they need. And invariably, when I ask students in orientations if they've used this service, there's always at least 1 or 2, and I've never had a negative response. So please promote that. Students can get a librarian 24/7 really, really simply. Before I jump into showing you a couple of the databases and the streaming media resources, any questions on this website in progress or the navigation here? Thank you, Joe. Okay, thanks, Mercedes. Okay, sounds good. So you're with me? Great. Couple things I wanted to point out. Search EBSCOhost. So a lot of students think that EBSCOhost is in and of itself a database. So I've started doing this nice little song and dance in orientations to hopefully help them to frame what it is and what it isn't better. So EBSCOhost is a giant corporation. Fun tidbits. It's one of the top 200 most profitable privately held companies in the US. So top 200 most profitable. They employ about 5,000 people. They are located in Alabama. And besides information as a commodity, besides this as their bread and butter, they also specialize in making fishing lures. So really interesting company, a lot of randomness with these folks, but they make a ton of money by providing access to, I think they make about 400 databases. MiraCosta College and the California community colleges subscribe to, I think, about 30 of their databases. So when you click on Search EBSCOhost, you're searching 30 different databases that we subscribe to from this company. Let me show you what that looks like. Obviously, at home when you do this, you'll log in with your network ID and password. All the EBSCOhost databases look the same initially. It's just their branding here, their logo with a search bar, search field. But it tells you at the top here that you are searching Academic Search Premier, comma, and if I click on Show All, you'll see that we're actually searching quite a number of different databases, including a couple that may not be that relevant, such as, where is it? There is an automotive there's a car repair database that's really, really cool. But I guess in general, if you're searching for information on X, Y, or Z, you're probably not looking at how to repair your carburetor. So just know that when you search EBSCOhost, you're searching all these things. So let me go back. One of my favorite things to show folks, especially online instructors, under Find Search is our ebook collections. I did call out the number of ebooks that we have currently at the library. We get them from a number of different companies, and those that we get from EBSCOhost happen to be the largest collection. It's more than 121,000. There's a number of reasons why I like the EBSCOhost interface. I think it's easy to use and I think it's intuitive. It's more so than many of our databases. And the fact that we subscribe to about 30 different databases from them means that your students can get familiar and comfortable and confident using that interface, whether they're looking at their ebook collection, if they're looking for magazine articles in a database called Master File, or if they're looking for more academic articles in Academic Search Premier. So there's a consistency across all those interfaces. And that's why I like to demonstrate it. Also, for those of you who are associates, because the California Community Colleges has consortially subscribed to these 30 databases, all the California Community Colleges that you may work at have the same EBSCOhost databases. So this was a huge sea change a couple years ago. It was a huge sea change when the state decided to subscribe to a set collection of databases for all California community colleges, because a lot of the little guys, or a lot of the guys without much money, often were not able to give their students very good access to different databases or information. But now with this state commitment for X number of years to this set collection through EBSCOhost, all the California community colleges will have access to at least the same databases. Some obviously with more money will be able to subscribe to more things, but at least as a core set that you can depend on when you're teaching, that you'll know your students can go use and access. Okay, so EBSCOhost, or ebook collection here, is great, really simple to use. Do keyword search, I don't know, how about oranges and, I don't know, Belize. So just being silly. 7 things. Fishes at the continental waters of Belize. I can click on the full text here. The book comes up in its entirety. It was published in '97. Table of contents drops down. You can jump to specific chapters. Let's say I want to learn about anchovies because they're really yummy. So here's some information about anchovies, and you can page at the bottom electronically if you want to mimic how you might use a real printed book. What I recommend to students too, when you're looking for specific relevant pages or chapters, in the upper right corner, in the list of tools, is a keyword search. So you can go there and say, I'm looking for information on pufferfish. I don't know if it's one word or two. Let's try one. Let's try two. Okay, so it looks like the words puffer and fish exist 156 times in this book, and you can jump to those pages by clicking on the different examples of it. Other options that you might like to know about, you can save chapters or pages, you can email chapters or pages. You can even, using this permalink here, it's that little link, chain link here, the permalink, you can send your students to a specific page of any of the ebook collection EBSCOhost books. So if you want to teach a chapter or teach a unit on something you find in our ebook collection, you can send them this permalink here. The main thing you want to look for if you're using any of our databases and you want to share a specific video or article, you want to look for what we call the proxy to be in that URL. So it's right here. It's prox.miracosta.edu. If that is there, you're good to go as is. If that is not in the URL from the stable or persistent link, you're going to have to do a little bit of something, which is essentially just copying or just typing in this little bit there. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. It's really technical. It's not technical. It's not that difficult, but we're happy to help you do that. So just know that we can get this stuff into your courses online very easily. Your students will have no difficulty accessing it. So that's the ebook collection on EBSCOhost. Let me close this. I want to point out a couple more of our ebook collections. Ebooks from Springer is a relatively new purchase for us. We have about 40,000 of their books. These books tend to be a little bit more science, technical, chemistry, mathematics. These books do not have any digital rights management, so you can access the entire book from home. You can download entire books. You can download entire chapters. I think if you could find some things that work for your courses in here, it's a great way to get the cost down on textbook purchases. The vendor for this company, I met him at a library conference, and he mentioned that a lot of the while a lot of the universities are using the content from these books, he mentioned that a lot of the community colleges and the community college instructors and librarians are using them as well. They're using them in a slightly different way. He mentioned that a lot of times the instructors will add to the reading list like just an introductory chapter or just a few pages introducing a topic or an idea, maybe rather than the entire book or the entire chapter that goes into really heavy-duty stuff. So keep that in mind. Whereas a lot of the information here is technical or higher level, maybe like grad student or upper division, you can still deploy it in your courses, maybe just overviews or introductions to chapters. What else? There's nothing else I want to show you here, but I want to show you our databases by subject. I didn't see any, I didn't see any English folks in here because they're having their department meeting from 2 to 4. But in case any of you have friends who teach in English, Artemis Literary Sources is our new lit database. It has taken huge collections of literature books, tomes. We're talking like really standard collections in most academic libraries. It's taken all of those books and digitized them so they're all available here, which is kind of exciting because those books are awful and they take up like miles of like shelving space. But it's kind of disappointing because I just learned how to use them like 5 years ago, and they're kind of fun. It's kind of fun to show students how to use books. And now they're going away, which is fine. It's fine. What else do I want to show you? Not a lot that I want to point out. We don't have that many new databases that you'll find on this page. Under the general all topics databases, you have the 4 big streaming media databases. Films on Demand is the biggest one. It has a really simple to use embed function. So if you go in there and you find a video and you want to throw it into your Moodle or Blackboard course, there's a really simple embed copy and paste widget. The same thing goes for Academic Online and Ambrose. If you're using IntelliCom, there's a button inside Blackboard that when you're in your Blackboard course and you're putting together course content, there's a button that says like Show Me in Telecom, and it'll open the database in Telecom in your Blackboard window, and then you can add videos using that really nice widget or button in Blackboard. I will tell you that there's a brand new streaming media collection called Dallas Learning that we're really excited about. It's brand new. There's a username and password for it, and it's not publicly linked here because we don't want students finding it. It's not for the use by students, but it's for use by you faculty. Jennifer Paris is our electronic services librarian, and she emails all faculty, and she sent one out about this, or she will be sending one about this. But that one is also working with Blackboard. That company is also working with Blackboard to make a Blackboard widget to make it a lot easier to import stuff. Are the national newspapers full daily editions? Yes. Yes, it is. I say that with hesitation because it's HTML. So let me show you. So if I go to New York Times, I'll just browse the issues. Let's see. Let's go to today's paper. The articles are listed in HTML. So Lauren Bacall, RIP. If you click on full text, here is like the text of the newspaper article. What's not here are maybe the graphics or the advertisements or a lot of things that you get like in a PDF scan. A lot of those things are lost here because it really is just the text of the articles. But to answer your question, yes, it's the full daily edition, but it's in HTML format, so you can copy and paste and email. Does that answer your question? Oh yeah, I agree. Who wants ads? Okay, so that is databases A to Z. Keep in mind that the 4 streaming media databases that you'll want to spend time with are at the bottom here of General All Topics. There's also under Find Search a whole link for online videos and music. So it calls out those 4 things that you can use. I want to take. Let me see. Oh, I want to show you one more thing that my colleague said I should mention that a lot of instructors get excited about. In EBSCOhost, again, our really wealthy fat cat friend EBSCOhost, if you do a search in here, so let's say she used a really scholarly example. I'm going to use something less scholarly. So puppy training, I don't know. Let's say puppy training. So let's say that you are teaching a course on puppy training and you want to be sent news alerts. You want to be sent emails alerting you when there's new articles being published. So go into EBSCOhost, do a search, and on the right side here under Share, there is a really cool option to create an email alert. So I'm going to click on email alert, like please EBSCOhost, let me know when something comes out about puppy training because I really want to be on the edge of puppy training. You have to create an account through EBSCOhost, which is really simple, it takes a matter of minutes. But you sign in. Once you do that, and it asks you how often you want to receive those emails, once a day, once a week, biweekly, once a month, and you can tell them how recently would you like the articles published. Again, that's going to be, at least in this search, articles including newspapers, magazines, and academic journal articles, as well as the ebooks. So anyways, that's it. She mentioned that a lot of folks like that. You don't have time, obviously, to go into the databases and search your field. So this is a nice way that they'll send it to you. I want to give the last maybe 15 minutes or so, I want to give you folks time to go in and explore on your own. You're welcome to explore the databases by subject, the databases A to Z. Look at some of the online videos and music if you'd like. Look at the ebooks on EBSCOhost. Hopefully you'll be able to find a couple things that might be useful for you this semester, and I'll be here to answer questions as well. Before I lead you guys to that, any questions or comments on anything I've just mentioned? Okay, so go ahead and take a few minutes and explore this, explore our website, try to find some cool stuff. Ask me questions if you get stuck. Thanks. Cheryl, can we tailor library orientations? The library orientations are tailored to your assignment. So yes, we are happy to give you a custom hour session, if that's what you're asking. Okay, yeah, cool. Oh, I didn't show you that. So I'm sorry. In case you're still watching me, under Services, there is Request Orientation. We have our nice form here. We ask that you upload a syllabus and/or your assignment. We do give 3 very general learning objectives that we have for your students, and we use your field, your content, and your assignment to kind of get to these ends. We ask if you want us to do anything else. We give you some options here, some additional learning objectives, and then we ask for the specifics about your class. But yeah, good question. Can students from the non-credit classes access ebooks? Do those students, Mercedes, they do have certified IDs and passwords, right? Yes, so as long as a student has a certified year password, they can access the ebooks from anywhere with the internet. We don't distinguish between credit and non-credit. The only exception is we often have community users or community patrons. You know, as a public college, folks are welcome to come use our facilities because it's a public institution. Furthermore, folks from the community can pay like $10 a year and get borrowing privileges for books. But that does not extend to the databases, and it does not extend to off-campus access. But yes, students, whether non-credit or credit with certified ID, have access to everything I've shown you as long as they're currently enrolled students. You're welcome. There will be an archive of this, Sandra. I'm recording it in all my voicing glory. Yeah, you can definitely go revisit this. I want to remind you that there are 6 full-time librarians on the campuses most days, and we are happy to discuss any of this with you in person, over email. You can pop by the reference desks. We're always there unless we're teaching an orientation, but there's always someone around to help you, so don't hesitate to meet us. If you're an online exclusively instructor, that might be a little more difficult. I will say that as we're expanding distance ed, I personally have been giving a lot more student orientations via this format, this webinar format through CCC Confer. If any of you are teaching online classes and you want to do an hour-long orientation, I would be happy to work with you. I typically offer them in the evening, usually about 7 p.m., so just know that that's an option. Kathy is doing a search in EBSCO, and she's asking if you can order by date. You can. On the right side, the default is ordering usually by relevance, but there is an option by date. Let me go look. Yeah, on the upper right corner where it says relevance with the drop-down arrow from the results screen, select that and you can choose either date newest or date oldest. You'll want to do probably date newest. Oh, cool. You're welcome. I'm going to talk in the background a little bit while you folks are doing your searches. I'm going to share with you just a little bit of like data, or just a little bit of research that might help you to help us help your students better. I'll tell you that students have, the two biggest concerns students have when they're doing research is that their topic will fail them, right? So they're concerned that if they pick a topic and they commit to a topic, that they may not find enough stuff on it, or that it's not going to pan out. They are really distracted by a lot of technology, and they're not used to sitting down at one place doing something for any length of time. So what that translates to for the research process is they already are concerned that the topic that they've picked is not going to work out for them. And then they might do a search or two, and if they don't get to exactly what they want immediately, they start panicking and they want to change topics. So that's one thing. And the second biggest thing that causes them concern is that they don't know how to get started or where to get started. This includes they don't understand a process of developing keywords or search terms. They can't take an idea in their mind and create like a list of options or potential search terms and apply that to library resources or to Google or to any number of search places. So a lot of what we do in the library at the reference desk or when I'm teaching an orientation is I help teach students this process of creating keywords or search terms, taking a sentence and drawing out a lot of options for when they're searching, so that if they get stuck with their search, they have some more options to choose from. And I call this a toolbox of terms. So I would definitely advise that you kind of hopefully like maybe mimic this process to students, or let them know that if they come up with the search term puppy training, they might also want to write down on a piece of paper, additional terms such as dog or canine or behavior modification, or any number of terms that they might actually use in different combinations in the databases or even on Google. And the second way that you can help as an instructor is, and we see this on lots of handouts. There was a big study done by the University of Washington. The biggest thing they see when they find instructors referring students to the library is instructors are very general when they say, go use the library. If they even say the library. A lot of folks don't even refer students to us. But so please refer students to us. Refer them to a librarian specifically, and to specific databases. So for example, if you are teaching in sociology or if you're teaching in art history, mention to them specifically use ArtStore, use Oxford Art Online, use JSTOR. If you are doing an assignment where you expect students to find newspaper articles, refer them specifically to Newspaper Source Plus. Name a database. I guess you could say EBSCOhost because it kind of is at this point a nice search all. But more than that, I might say if you're looking for academic articles, tell them to look in Academic Search Premier. So give them as specific instructions as you can, and we're happy to help you. If you want our advice or opinions on your assignment as far as the research portion of it, we're happy to give feedback. Yeah, so do that. Know that students have a lot of trepidation and they're nervous and they a lot of anxiety around research, and it's my job and my colleagues' job to help ameliorate that and hopefully make their experience with the library and our resources successful. And so we need your help to do that. I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to let you folks continue to explore. This is officially over in about 7 minutes. So I want to thank you all for attending. I encourage you to visit us, request those orientations. I'm happy to do them online at night some nights if you're an online instructor. But yeah, we appreciate you. We appreciate your collaborating with you. So have a great semester, and thanks again. Take care.